Good morning and thanks for joining us. I'm Dan Layton.
And I'm Matt Coloma. We might not be the usual faces you see on Morning Brew, but as the TV studio interns this semester, we've worked alongside a special group of seniors to put on this show every week.
And with the semester coming to a close, we wanted to highlight those very seniors that worked tirelessly in the TV studio this past academic year. This morning we were joined by our friends and colleagues from the Morning Brew Journalism Practicum course here at Siena College. We'll be having a candid discussion about their growth right here in the TV studio and how everything they've worked on this semester has prepared them to take the next step into the professional world.
Joining us from left to right, Jake Salvi, sports communications major with a minor in marketing. Amber Fisher, a communications journalism major with a minor in writing and communication. And Chris Hicks, a sports communication major with a minor in marketing.
And on the other side, Tiana Xavier, communications journalism major with a minor in marketing. Katie Rogers, a communications journalism and political science international relations double major. Ethan Smith, a sports communications major with a double minor in history and journalism. And Tommy Kane, a communications marketing major.
And we'd be remiss if we did not mention the last member of our crew, Joe Lemry, a junior sports communications major. Joe is in the control room right now helping this show come to life and will be back next year, hopefully working on more content right here from the TV studio. Now we want to start from the beginning. This group of students signed up for the first ever iteration of Journalism 400, a television production workshop offering Siena students real-world experience working a live show right here from Foy Hall. From this, SCTV Live at 2:30 was born. This crew and a few others worked on 6 30-minute live newscasts and one 90-minute live election night show. They hosted a live panel of experts to talk about the election results in real time. They reported on hard-hitting news stories affecting the Siena community, and they even sat down with Siena College President Chuck Seifert to talk about what makes Siena so special. This crew was the beginning of something special here at SCTV, and for many of us here, SCTV Live at 2:30 was the start of something special in our own lives. I'll start with Amber. Tell us about your experience working with SCTV Live at 2:30.
Well, firstly, that's a huge question. SCTV Live at 2:30 was my first opportunity to ever be on camera. I transferred into Siena, and my whole junior year, I wasn't really on camera. I was just learning the basics of journalism and kind of the terms and all of that. But once I got to SCTV 2:30 and we got to be on camera and we actually got to put that into practice, it was so amazing. From the election night show, like you were talking about, interviewing President Seifert, it all just felt so surreal and so amazing to not only be working with everybody here, but to put into practice everything that what we were being taught in classes.
All right, and I want to stick with the election night show. So there's a funny story. Jake, can you tell me a little bit about, there was a little disagreement on election night, right? What was that experience like when you had to kind of, get everyone back together?
It was kind of crazy when Mitch told me that I was going to be floor manager. I was like, phew, it's a easy day at the office, just have to stand there, make sure cameras are pointed correctly, but as things normally go with politics, especially when you have opposing views, the panel kind of got a little bit overzealous with what they wanted. And then, off camera, they just kept going at it. Amber was working the panel. tried to get them to stop, but, they kept letting their takes fly, heinous or not. So, it came time for our anchors to come back up, and they're still talking. So, I had to be polite and tell them to please, shut up. We have a job to do. We want to make this work, and, you're getting a little antsy. So we just had to quiet them down.
I want to pivot over to this side real quick. You guys over here. So you guys were all on Live at 2:30. What made you guys want to continue doing this and continue pursuing, classes in the TV studio, working with Mitch? We'll start with Ethan. Ethan, what was your experience like in 2:30, and how did that make you want to, pursue working with the Morning Brew?
So I think that the big thing for me is growing up, I was always a shy kid. I was always nervous to talk, public speak. I took a bunch of classes here to get better at that. And in terms of this, I couldn't ask for a better experience, right? Like, this is the pinnacle for just learning how to get out of your shell, especially if you're shy and nervous, whether you want to be in front, behind the camera, or anything what you want to do for news. I think it's been a great experience for me. I think I can speak for everybody here. We've had a great experience, great time. We've forged friendships for a lifetime that we'll take with us. And we've made great opportunities and found great opportunities to take with us into the real world. So I'm very thankful for the chances that we've had here at Siena.
Awesome, man. Katie, you too. You took more of like a production role from what I've heard and from what I've seen, you like to do the stuff behind the scenes. So what made you really enjoy that aspect of this?
I like a sort of controlled chaos. So getting to produce the election night was, like Ethan said, it's the pinnacle of that. And it was honestly absolutely horrifying in the best way possible. The prep for it every week, making sure that everything was set, making sure that our photogs were doing their jobs right, making sure everyone was doing everything so everything was on track a certain way was honestly really incredible. And then getting to sit and watch everything happen the way it did was just amazing. And it made me feel like I was doing something worthy. And like I said, I like the controlled chaos, so I like the behind the scenes better. I am not an on-camera person by any means. So being behind the camera and being able to figure all of that out was really, really rewarding.
Awesome. And I want to say, I actually watched your guys's, I wasn't working in SCTV at the time, so I watched your guys's newscast of the election night to get the election results. So yeah, sad night for me, but it's whatever. Yeah.
I do want to throw in that night when everything was going on with the panel and things were starting to go sideways. I was messaging Katie over the computer, and we were just like in the Google Docs chat, like messaging back and forth, like, "Oh my God!" Right? Like I was like, I swear, I'm doing what I can. And so I'm like listening to them, and I'm like nodding. I'm trying to listen to their opinions, and I'm like, Katie.
I was like, you're doing great, sweetie. Like, you're doing wonderful. But I was like, they need to stop.
Yeah, that every time I told that panel to quelch, it didn't. So thankfully, Jake was there to say, all right, guys, wrap it up.
No, we got very lucky with these two, because honestly, if I was in Amber's position, I would have been like, you gotta let's just, anyway. It would have been a lot different.
The number one thing they teach you about, like a rundown, it's number one thing, we all know it's time. So timing that show must have been a pain, and it's incredible that you guys were able to
I must have been sounding like a sailor with the amount of stuff I was saying backstage.
That's why you're in the control room. You get to say that stuff.
Exactly.
Right.
That's why you're not in front of the camera.
Right, exactly, yes.
Oh, goodness. Well, after that fall semester, this crew's students were offered another opportunity to continue their work in the TV studio, this time with a different challenge. Instead of 6 30-minute shows, it was 10 one-hour shows. To start the spring semester, those who wanted to continue getting reps in the studio and out in the field pitched their own show idea, segments, and gave input on a new show for this semester. Thus, SCTV's Morning Brew was born. This show was no small task, several reporter packages every week, a focus on the Siena community, a live demonstration to kick off the second half hour, and different creative avenues that every student wanted to take. We'll start with those who are still deciding if they want to pursue a career in broadcast journalism. Tommy and Katie, you both have other interests you've spoken about pursuing after graduation. Why did you continue working in the TV studio after your experience back in the fall?
Well, in the fall, I had a lot of fun with it. I started off on camera, and I thought I wouldn't ever want to be on camera. And by the time the fall ended, I was like, okay, I really enjoy writing. I enjoy being on camera enough. And then it was the one thing I was not a big fan of was doing photog stuff, basically. Not shooting your own stuff, but voiceover packages and stuff like that for other stories. I realized that part wasn't for me. I'm not the greatest with the camera. So I was like, let me try and do more stuff in the Morning Brew, basically. Ended up doing a lot of stuff on camera, live demos. We did one where we sat down, we were just learning how to draw a house, which seems really simple on paper, but it was honestly a really enjoyable live demo. It was very, very zen, very peaceful. There was the CPR one that we did with favorite. Joe. That one I enjoyed with Matt's brother also too.
Yeah. You guys did AVI too.
And then AVI was one of the first ones we did as well. And I think coming back to do it was just really fun because I enjoyed writing. That gave more avenues to write different types of stories too, especially with the entertainment block. You got to focus on some more niche topics, stuff that wasn't just Siena focused, but it's just fun, lighthearted entertainment kind of news too, which is a different writing style, I'd say, for producing. So being able to write for live versus writing for Morning Brew was two different types. And I think that opened up being I might want to write or produce for a place at some point in time in my life. That's probably the most enjoyable part.
Yeah. Katie, why did you come back?
Well, part of it is the people. Actually, I won't say part of it. That is the main thing. I came back for the people. I absolutely loved being able to be with everybody last semester and getting to have the opportunity again. I really wanted to jump at that. And your initial question was, I've been working at the local school district for about a year and a half, little over that now, and I got that opportunity because of Dr. Iddings, because he sent out an email, and I was like, why not? And it has been incredibly rewarding, and it's made me realize that I really do love the communications aspect of everything, and being here working in a producer role has made me realize how much I love behind the scenes work more. So having like all these different experiences has allowed me to kind of figure out my path in life a little more. Not that it's solidified, but like I'm getting on the path that I think I want to be on.
Was there anyone here that like going into it in the fall or the spring even where like you were like either like you wanted to be on camera but then you started working behind the scenes and then you were like, okay, like maybe I'm better behind the scenes. I think this guy over here is
to my right.
Chris,
yeah.
any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I started my career at SCTV with me and Jake doing sports desk, so that was really all I was doing.
Real OG, if you know that.
Yes.
Shout out sports desk. And Iddings told us this at the start. He was like, "You guys got a face for radio."
Says that to everyone, man.
He does say it to everyone, but I really sat down and realized I wasn't really good on camera. I love the photog stuff, so you know.
Here we are.
Awesome.
Yeah, here we are.
Someone else who's not, well, someone who's kind of the opposite, isn't really shy to be on camera. Tiana, tell us a little bit about what made you want to switch, or not even switch, just like stick with it and come and stick around for the Morning Brew.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I'm like a very like hands-on type of person. I love immersing myself in the whole different thing. And one thing I really liked about like these classes is like you're put in an uncomfortable position, but you're only doing that to get better. So I liked that we got to learn every single like station in the news station so we could like get better. And I feel like after doing that, that's when I could make up my mind like, yeah, I'm tired of lugging that camera around with that tripod. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that anymore. I like going in and like, you know, reading the script and knowing what I'm gonna say. And I also liked like being the reporter too, like going out and shooting the stories as well. I mean, not the time when I was at the ice skating rink and I didn't know it was outside, and it was snowing, but yeah. But it's definitely an experience and I definitely won't take it for granted. It was awesome.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I can speak from personal experience about the developments made here on SCTV. A year ago, I was majoring in education, and I was forced to switch my major. It was a crediting issue because I was told I wasn't going to graduate on time, and that just wasn't an option for me. I knew coming to college, I was going to get in and get out in 4 years with a degree. So I asked them what could I still graduate with for like if I wanted to graduate in May, and they told me journalism. So little did I know I was about to make one of the best decisions of my life. See, I made the switch thinking I would go on and get my master's in education and still be a teacher by 24. However, this studio completely changed my life and has put me on an entirely new and exciting path. And the things I've learned, and the people I've met, they've really made my senior year my best year at Siena. So just thank you for everything. Chris and Jake, you guys, were around during the TV studio remodel. And when, they really started to pour a lot of money and a lot of resources back into the TV studio. In fact, if you look back at, the early, like we were talking about Sports Desk, those videos are from almost 2 years ago now. So just tell me about the developments you guys have made and just how this studio has changed you guys. If you guys want to start.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Mine's probably a little shorter. Obviously, I'm still pretty quiet. I still don't talk very much, but it's really helped me become more outgoing. It also just helped me. I didn't really know what I was going to do before we started doing this like production stuff. So this like studio, the remodel, everything has helped me like narrow down what I want to do for a career.
I mean, just kind of to reiterate what Kristen said, I think the remodel of the TV studio has been nothing short of insane. Like you mentioned, when we first started, a sports desk, like our first show. I think it should have been sweatshirts and
Yeah.
backwards hats, very, unprofessional, lax. But that was kind of the vibe at the TV studio at the time. Come in, prep an idea, send it out, and just get it done. And then, obviously, we went to Spain for a semester, came back a little more extroverted. TV studio was up and running at full force at that point. We kept sports desk going. Mitch offered the TV studio production course, and I think just all of it's really, like Chris said, brought me out of my shell a little bit. Freshman, sophomore year, I just kind of head down, stuck to myself, did whatever. But now I'm our live talk show with you guys,
Right.
just chat about whatever.
Comes out your fast, huh?
Yeah, I know it's a real 180 what you're doing in the TV studio here.
You look at the quality too. Like our first couple episodes of Sports
it's
Desk were
brutal.
like so bad. Like we had
We bring out like the props,
the magic conch,
the brick.
Yeah.
Oh my
Like,
goodness.
we didn't know each other basically.
No.
And now we have like these high quality newscasts. It's like insane to see like the progress you make within 1 year.
Everyone's getting real world jobs out in the TV
Yeah.
production world.
Even I remember too, like this, where with the monitor and where where we would do interviews for Live at 7 and Live at 7, Live at 2:30. Like this wasn't what it was like last year, and it was just like it was a green wall basically, just for green screens, so people could just do like I remember doing it for like one of Kelly O'Donnell's classes for like sports writing and reporting. We would just do
Live shots.
a
Brutal,
live
man.
shot
Those
with a
things
green
were
screen.
brutal.
I'm in the MetLife Stadium parking lot back there. Yeah.
And now,
But
now we have a couch.
Now we have a
Yeah,
couch
look at it.
that I cleaned.
We steam cleaned
that we
that.
steamed. That we cleaned. That we cleaned.
Oh man, Facebook Marketplace.
Yes.
Great place.
Great
Yeah,
spot.
Great spot. Sticking with this side, Amber, do you have anything you would like to add just to that point? Just the developments you made in here.
Yeah, I mean, I've only seen this studio for 2 years, but within the 2 years that I've seen it, when I saw it my junior year, it was kind of starting to be used a little bit. I worked with a staff member here, Joe Fermusa, who had talked about how this studio used to be in use and then it kind of went dead for like 12, 14 years. And then thanks to our beloved Mitch, he brought everything back to life. Like, yeah, no, let's stop and give him a round of applause.
Clap it up for Mitch Young, everyone. Clap it up for Mitch.
He's waving back there in the control room. But no, seriously, what Mitch has done with this studio is night and day. The fact that we were all able to not only get in here, but on our senior year, every single one of us put together a reel to submit to jobs, and jobs take us seriously. They see the content that we're putting out and they're like, yeah, you actually know what you're doing. You actually have something substantial there. And I think that that's amazing, and all credit to Mitch, all credit to Mitch. But it's been so wonderful to see the studio become what it's become. So yeah, I'm really grateful to have seen it and to be a part of the revitalization of it.
That's awesome. And yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it. Like I was saying, I'm very new to this. I came in here and I had a nice TV studio to get my feet wet with, and I've fallen in love with it. So on this side, anyone want to just tell me a little bit about what it's been like?
Yeah. So
Start with Tommy.
yeah, I remember
Yeah.
junior year, like come in, do the live shot, your little stand up for sports writing and reporting, or journalism 300 also, especially. And it was like your big thing, your big final project was a package, one singular package. And it took hours. And now we're on packages essentially where we're going for 2-3 a week for some people even, and they're getting those done in about an hour and a half probably, because they've taken the time to sort of refine their skills and just like work, and you see the production quality's increased over and over again. You can see how nervous some people look, even myself, obviously, like during their first ever recorded stand-ups. Even a singular stand-up was an assignment at one point, and now that's like just one pivotal piece of like what makes a package. And you see a lot of like people's characters come out in these package segments and in these stand-ups, and I think that really like stands as a test to people as like journalists.
Yeah, I have to take that from you there because we have the king of stand-ups with us in
Oh,
the studio
yes.
today, Ethan Smith. Ethan Smith, talk about just your development and how you've gotten so much more comfortable on camera. We look at some of your stand-ups, it's like, oh my gosh, like, how does he
The
think
point.
of these? The
The
point,
point.
yeah, the finger
The point.
hit the
Yeah.
camera. Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
All right.
King of
Yeah,
stand-ups.
so the point came about because I guess it was just a kind of thing to maybe, I don't know, like make myself unique in a sense. Because I heard from Mitch that it was more like a 90s to early 2000s thing that you would do the point with the camera. And honestly, the story that happened was I took my senior photos in the suit and tie, and it was for the Journalism 400 class. I had done a story on the radio station for our final show. It was a package. And I fronted it, and I just did this walking kind of shot from the in front of the iHeart's
Let's roll that
computer
walking shot.
and all that. And then I'm just talking about it. I'm like, but for Darren Kibbe, it's the most rewarding job he's ever had, and point at the camera. And everybody loved it and thought it was great. So I guess it's just my thing now. It's helped me come out and be a little more like me, and I guess it's just something that I'll always take with me. And I don't think there'll ever be a stand-up where I'm only kind of nod or point or something. It's just kind of me now. And I think that it's night and day, like you said, night and day from when I was first doing Tommy and everybody mentioned the green screen out there that used to be it used to be just the big green screen. I was doing Kelly's reporting class and my sophomore year, and I remember I was in a Pittsburgh Steelers hat. It was like some sort of sweat jacket and sweatpants and like dirty shoes, and I was green screen in front of we were doing a Siena Fest show, and that took me like an hour and a half to do that package and live stand up. And now, like Tommy said, it takes some of us like an hour to do like 3 or 4 of them. We just churn them out like it's crazy. So I think that it's just a testament to how well we've been taught and how great the programming is here.
I just want to jump in too. I think we have a close second for King of Stand-Ups, Mr. Colombo.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
This man,
Oh,
this
yeah.
man has churned out so many packages.
It's been a lot of work. Yeah.
Working photog for this entire semester, I feel like me and you have worked together crazy enough. You weren't even like in the class, and like
No,
we put out some crazy.
Yeah, just despite, I do turn a package or multiple packages for this show every week. I'm not in this class. I was graded on none of that. It does not count towards
Just
my
for the
GPA.
just for the
He
love of
just
the game.
came to
Yeah.
save the day
For the love of the
every
game.
time.
Yeah.
He came to save the day.
For the love of the game.
So, yeah.
The wizarding one is definitely the best.
The
Oh,
wizard
that's
stand-up.
great.
Roll wizard
No, no,
stand-up.
no.
It is I, the Siena College Wizard, where I am just off campus, casting spells, crafting potions, and playing magic. The Gathering. That's right, on this week's Join the Club, take an unexpected journey with me to Padua Hall, where we'll visit this week's club, the Gaming Club.
My favorite is the musical Mayhem one where he's walking, turn, walking, turn, walking, turn, guitar. I loved
That
it.
was great.
I'm here at Siena College, where tonight, all bets are off. Tonight will feature drama, suspense, and mayhem. A yearly event where students will hope to cement their name within the college's rich history. Tonight, SCB hosts a music competition. That didn't sound right.
But the fact that you can actually play guitar and you did it so poorly.
Wait, you can?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's why I was in a band. That's why, that's how I knew how to make it sound so bad. Humble brag.
The underrated one, man. The St. Patrick's Day.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, where you switched outfits.
What about St. Patrick? And what about the Irish history of Albany? In order to learn more, I had a quick costume change and headed back to Siena College to talk to Dr. Karen Sunlitter.
The fact
Oh
they
my
let you
gosh.
do that.
Yeah.
And that's all. This is all for a show that you were
Wasn't
not
even
technically
originally a
supposed to
part
be
of.
on
I appreciate
for a
it.
grade that you never got.
No, I didn't. I set up a Google Classroom, by the way, for Mitch to submit grades. And he never did one. So thanks, Mitch. He's giving me a thumbs down right now from the studio. Thanks for that, Mitch. Would have felt good to get, a couple grades, some
I
feedback.
think we'd be remiss though if we don't mention your Kona Ice.
Oh,
Package
well,
Jam.
that was
Oh,
my.
100%.
That looked so much fun.
That was so the original story with that. We had like prop customers. Like we had like people in Mitch's class, the other class, like be like the fake customers. So they pull up, And then we're thinking like, okay, they're gonna be quiet, low key, because they're not getting paid. They're not getting paid about it. They're not getting paid. Music just starts blasting. This kid's dying laughing.
I felt so bad, man.
What happened?
I felt so bad.
Oh yeah. They start blasting their theme music, and then a huge line forms. And next thing you know, we're just giving away Kona ices for free, basically.
Oh my God, they didn't get paid for that.
They didn't get paid for that.
Oh no!
Hundreds of dollars.
It
for
It was
the
pretty
Kona
funny
ice.
though too, because like
You did great though.
Thank
They
you.
should hire you full time.
That truck did look pretty small. That
Yeah.
truck looked pretty small. on the
It was
inside.
small. Mitch and I were fighting for our lives in the back of that truck. But it was just very funny because like the husband was like, they're a husband and wife. For those that didn't see it, they're a husband and wife duo. But the husband was more like, yes, like more people. And the wife was like, we have to leave now. Like we gotta go. But yeah, that was doing that not even pack. And we mentioned how like people like didn't want to, like there's some people that want to be on camera but they don't want to edit and like do like the photog stuff. I did not want to do like any type of like editing or like that stuff like that because I'm horrible at it. So then I was like, what's one way that I can just like not do anything? Like it, just
A
like
live demo.
some, and then Mitch was like a live demo.
Kona
Like
ice live demo.
someone we tried. There were a lot of attempts to get people. Like I think Kona Ice was like our fifth attempt or something. Yeah, but grateful for them for coming, even though that they did not get paid for it. We're very grateful for that.
Another thing that speaks to the development of the TV studio and like us being on camera for hours is the SCTV Wii tournament.
Oh my God!
yes.
Where
We were in the
had
studio until
sideline
what, like 3 in the
reporters,
morning?
live Wii golf games being played, live commentary,
That was absurd.
post-game interviews,
I'm glad that
two different sets of commentators.
It took
An
like
interview
6
the next
hours.
day with the winner.
Yep,
Yeah.
a post-game interview with the person that beat me. Not great, not fun.
Yeah.
I will say,
I
watching
had
that from my bed was really nice.
We were in
Must
the
have
studio
been.
until
Must
what?
have
We were
been.
here
3
like
a.m.
2 or
3
3 in the
no,
morning.
3 in-
No,
3
it
in the
was like
morning.
it was like 3 in the morning, and it was like Chris, me, Jake, you, Dan, and Tommy. I think. Oh wait, no, you had left.
I tapped out at 1 after I lost.
That's
I had to
right.
go home.
Ethan, did you stick around?
Yeah, I went to the semis actually, and Ian Downer, our champion, beat me.
Oh,
Ian
that's
Downer.
right.
Roll that shot, by the
Yeah.
way. I'm just gonna put that in. Roll that Ian Downer shot. That is
That
the
was-
greatest.
That was an
Wii golf
epic
shot
that may have been
of
my
all
greatest
time.
call.
Yeah.
And I'm not even going into play-by-play. It's the second stroke here. No shenanigans from Downer. He possibly could have gained a big advantage here in the finals. Line drive off the bunker's able to roll off. That might go into the hole. Oh my goodness! Oh, what a shot!
And our first eagle of the night. Oh, in the final. God. Good night, Hicks.
Oh my
Update the graphic.
God! That might have been the dagger. I have never seen a shot like that of Wii golf in my life.
One of my favorite parts of the SCTV was the in between when everybody was like switching out and you would go out and like talk to people
Oh,
as they were
my
coming
interview.
out,
Yeah.
and the interaction
The witching
between
hour.
you two. I
my-
still think about that
That's
to
a
this
Mustard
day.
Patty's
Oh,
clip.
this
I can
Mustard
search through that
Patty,
entire thing.
No, but I just remember from that tournament, I had the choke job of the century where I was up like 4 strokes going into the 3rd hole, and I choked. Like it was bad. Like out of bounds on 2 consecutive shots. Like it wasn't good, but at least my sideline reporting.
Your sideline reporting
saved the day.
was chef's kiss.
It
It
was
was
great.
amazing.
Oh, well,
It like turned into a podcast with like a Wii Sports.
Just
game
going in the back.
yeah, just
Yeah.
happening in the background.
Like him with his burgers. the
Yeah.
mustard
Oh
burgers.
yeah,
The
there's
mustard
that.
patties.
How I make
Dan,
burgers.
Dan Grills.
Yes. Well, in the last few years, Siena College has offered students an array of opportunities to get real-life experience, from working here in the studio, to working on labs, to working the live truck for George Fellows, to working operations at the MVP Arena. Siena has offered all of us the chance to pursue so many different avenues to prepare us for the real world. And I'll kick it to Ethan Smith. Ethan, how do you feel that your time here in the studio or anywhere else on campus has prepared you for working out in the field?
I think you said it in the question, right? It's experience in the statement. It's experience, right? This job is not about your GPA exactly or how a minute, finite, exact black and white way to do things. There's a complete gray area, right? Like there's multiple ways to shoot a package. There's a right way, but there's multiple ways to do it to make it efficient. There's multiple ways and shots and angles and tight shots, wide shots, medium shots, different pans, tilts, etc. to be able to successfully get B-roll and footage. So I think that this is just the experience and the hands-on learning. I'm a hands-on learner. So I think that the hands-on experience, just the renovations and the ability and having an awesome crew here, and I shout out to you guys, like the best crew I've ever worked with, best class I've ever had.
That's good.
Well, Ethan, I did want to mention, because talking about like getting reps in the field, you went into the field one time and people weren't so kind to you. Can you explain?
Yes,
Can
of
you
course.
explain more?
yeah.
So for anybody looking to do the journalism major, be prepared to face some trials and tribulations, we'll say the least. So essentially, you want the story, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Yes.
So essentially, I was filming on a story that was about a couple break-ins at the college suites, and we have residents from Siena, students at Siena that live in the suites that are in a couple other colleges and whatnot. I believe that's right?
It's speaking as somebody who lives there, it's Siena and Hudson Valley Community College. Yeah.
All right, perfect. So I went to go film and just get B-roll because I was doing a story. I had interviewed the public safety. I got statements from the police of Troy, because in Troy, Rensselaer County. And I got on this, walked in, asked for anybody to speak to. They said, we're not talking to you. So, all right. And I backed out, went to the, close to the sidewalk. They said, you can't film here. Went to the sidewalk. Then they told me, one of their staff came out and said, well, you can't really film here. I'm like, why not? I said, and they were like, well, it's we shovel it in the winter. That was their excuse. We shovel it in the winter, so it's our sidewalk. I called our wonderful studio manager and our director for our show and producer for our show, Mitch Young. He said, hold on, I'll be there in a sec. And he got there. He said to stay there. And kind of almost like I would say a standoff kind of occurred. like almost like a Western, like the who's going to fire first, but not really that bad. They were kind of standing there looking out the window. They tried to get our public safety involved. But essentially, long story short, I was able to go and get back on the sidewalk. We got clearance. Mitch reached out to a connection that I had talked to earlier from Troy Police, who said, you have every right to record on that sidewalk. So I ended up being able to record, get the footage, and just know that there's a lot of times, if you're a journalist, that people will tell you, for those of you listening to this or watching it, that they'll try and tell you that you can't do something or you can't, they'll try and find avenues to suppress you. You are the fourth estate. You're the most important part of free government. Like, you keep the other government, the other three branches in check, so don't let anybody tell you, unless it's physically impossible, that you can't do something and produce news.
With reps, that's a situation that if you do decide to go into this career path, you will find yourself in it. So just talking about reps, like getting to be put in a situation like that while you're still in school, I just think that carries tremendous value going forward. And Amber, I see you're grabbing the mic if you want to speak on that. Yeah.
We did a story was it the beginning of this
Morning
semester?
Brew, so
yeah, it was Morning Brew.
It was like our first show.
Wow,
Yeah.
that was crazy. There was a Siena College faculty member that got arrested for embezzlement. And that was a crazy adventure. And that was a lot of talking to the deans and talking to the president's office. And, I'm not going to say that administration was happy that we did that story, but with Mitch's help, I put it together nonetheless. And I think that was one of the coolest experiences to do, because that was the first story that we were able to put first on SCTV on the story. And I'm pretty sure that 10 picked it up after we did, but it was so cool to just be able to break breaking news on Morning Brew, and we were the first people to do that.
Yeah, no, and it's and I didn't do this package for Morning Brew, but just in the TV studio in general, the student visa package I did, that's something that writing that package for me, I was like, oh, what can I say? What can I say? I'm texting Mitch. I'm like, man, you got to help me write this. You got to help me because there's such a fine line with stories like that. And I had to reach out to multiple international students. None of them wanted to talk to me, understandably so. But it's a scary field. But getting to do that now I think provided me and provided all of us with just so much experience that we're going to take. And now we have the reps, and now we're pretty seasoned to be entering our first journalism job. So in Lincoln, Nebraska, or in Clarksburg, West Virginia, I feel like wherever we end up,
Or
we're gonna be
Eugene,
good.
Oregon.
Or Eugene, Oregon. Yeah.
Hose up.
Yeah.
Hose up.
Hose up. Well, wherever we end up, we're going to know how to handle ourselves in those situations. So, yeah. And while we're graduating, like I just said, the work in the TV studio is never finished. The next crop of journalists are signing up for these classes in the fall. Freshmen, sophomores, and juniors will hopefully carry on the legacy that has been established in this TV studio over the past few years. The TV Studio Club will welcome more students to come in and tape shows. Classes with Professor O'Donnell will continue working inside and outside the classroom, and more classes will hopefully utilize this space for anything they may need. Siena, what advice do you got for future Saints looking to get involved in the studio, or even Saints that are on campus that just want to get involved now?
Well, first, do not wear green pants on the green screen.
Floating.
I was floating on there. But definitely, if you don't even have to be like an introverted or extroverted type of person, because there's so much that you can do in the newsroom. I truly believe that there is a position for everybody. But if you are like me, and I feel like you're very energetic and you just love talking to people and just being in this whole environment, I definitely say go for it and at least just give it a try. There's classes that you can take, and if it's not for you, that's okay. There's always something for everybody else. But even a minor in this, like if you like things like this, I definitely say like do it, get your foot in the door, because I feel like I have had endless opportunities and I have just grown so much. I don't think I could have gotten any of this like growth and opportunity from any other college, and it was truly amazing. And the fact that they took it so professionally, that's all I could ask, because you want to feel confident going into that job and that interview that I could really do this and feel and believe yourself when you say that. Like, you're not just putting on a facade. You want to believe yourself. And I truly do. Like, I feel like going into a job that I can do this. It's going to be a little stressful, but I trust myself. So definitely just give it a shot if you're interested.
I just think, too, that, like, there's a lot of people that, like, work in this field, like people like Mitch, people like Kelly, people like Josh Hiddings, where, like, you can jump and they'll ask how high. I think that there's like really like no limit to like what like professors make for what students can and can't do. I just think that whatever they want to put their mind to, they can do it. And I just think that's just what makes this place more unique than other, spots here on campus.
Exactly.
It's the grind, man. You show up here, and if you're willing to work your butt off, there's a spot for you in this TV studio. And I feel like that's the biggest thing. It's just work your tail off, man. Like, really just work hard and good things will happen,
That's exactly what happened. That's why we're interns.
Yeah, I think that...
It's the...
I'll take that from you. I'll take it. I think that definitely the grind and the self-confidence is so important, but also just remembering that this is a field where we really make a difference. Mm-hmm. No matter what position you're doing, whether it's producing, whether it's on-camera work, whether it's being a photographer, you really are making a difference, because not a lot of people realize how important the world of journalism is to the world itself. You are informing the general public, whether it's your local community, whether it's on a nationwide basis, whether it's just like the campus community. We are responsible for giving people information that they will then use to tailor to their own lives. And I think it's really important to be able to tell stories and, be a voice for the voiceless, because not a lot of people get to do that. And I think it's so cool that not only are we having a great time while doing all this stuff, but we really are changing the world.
It kind of feels like, you're like talent. You just like being on camera, and like, people look at it with that, very surface level viewpoint, but what you're doing is so important. And like, yes, you're on camera. If you work in a market like Lincoln, Nebraska, people are going to say like, oh, you're Jake Salvi with Sports on 6. Yeah, right. Stuff like that.
Mitch didn't really like that.
Right, yeah.
Lincoln, Nebraska.
But, like...
Go Big Red.
So stuff like that, just you're making such an impact. And while it's hard, it's just, yeah.
And while the work here in the CV studio can certainly be stressful, there are plenty of fun moments that we can look back on Tommy Kane, it was always a spectacle when you were anchoring from the couch. What moments stuck out to you throughout the past 2 semesters?
Probably how much fun I can have, like, during the entire recording process, basically. Half the time, I'm able to just, like, go up there and, like, be authentic, I guess. Like, I'm not really putting anything on when I'm doing this, which is enjoyable. And, I don't know, besides, like, favorite moments, I, like, would always come here to just, like, do work or, like, produce and just, like, write in the mornings. I'd probably text Mitch 3-4 times a week asking if the TV studio's unlocked so I can just come in and work or either just hang out or do work for other classes. I mean, I've watched soccer games on the prompter monitors in the back room while I'm doing homework
It's a
here.
safe space for you.
It's like, it really is. It's just like when I need to like get out of the house, I go here and do work. And then also it's just like the whole time I'm here, it's just always fun. Or it's just like I come here to do something for 5 minutes and then I'm talking to Jake and Chris and Mitch for an hour and an hour and a half. And I'm like, oh, where did the time go? I have class in like an hour. So just like having this as like a place to be able to like show up and do whatever like I feel like I need to do at that point in time is like really what makes me appreciate this space like the most, I think.
Jake, what about you? What's been your favorite? You're a Grizzly veteran here. What is
Some would say.
Yeah, some would say that. What are some of your favorite moments here in the studio?
I mean, I have a lot, so I mean, I'll list some. I think some of my favorite moments are when me and Chris first started out at Sports Desk. You know, we just kind of came in, did our own thing, talked on camera, we're really ourselves. And I think that's like the most important thing, like Tom was saying, like you can just come here and be yourself. Like a lot of the times, again, like Tom was saying, our whole class would just be in the studio, just hanging out, talking for hours or whatever, having onionators, stinking it up. But, you know.
Double tuna, double onion, double guac, triple sour cream, and a jalapeno cheddar wrap.
Right? It's as simple
Feta
as that.
cheese, yeah.
And then there's like some really funny on-camera moments. Tommy provides us all the time. I think my favorite one was our Christmas show, I think, on SCTV 230. I wrote a script and it kind of got messed up on the prompter, so we got a nice little reaction cam from Tommy.
And I was in a light up suit too, a light up Christmas suit.
But what
And
about the World of T-shirts moment?
That was just I may or may not have produced a hard to read through segment without laughing for my anchor, Katie, who happens to not be on camera often.
I hate being on camera and the fact that that is what you made me do.
It took about 12 to 14 attempts before we couldn't get through the first 2 sentences to where I said, I left the control room and said, just put me out there. I'll just do this. And
I was laughing so hard I started
And then
crying.
I
do the Mr. Beast
I needed at
burger.
least
I
3
couldn't
takes.
do it.
I needed at least 3 takes before I could get to the first sentence, and then another 3 more takes to get through it. And I just had to cut out some stuff in my own story without me laughing hysterically. So
Okay. TikTok star and self-proclaimed king of New York, World of T-shirts, aka Joshua Block, has been diagnosed with pancreatitis. This diagnosis...
This is the easiest story ever. It's a jump scare every time.
Just because I see the pain!
Jump scare every time.
I see it out of the corner of my eye!
You put the fries.
And then I see Chris laughing!
Chris, you gotta leave. I'll turn around. I'm turning around.
Oh my god! TikTok star and self-proclaimed king of New York, World of T-shirts, aka Joshua Block, has been diagnosed with pancreatitis. This diagnosis comes after the Friday night crash out at the American Dream.
TikTok star and self-proclaimed king of New York, World of T-shirts, aka Joshua Block, has been diagnosed with pancreatitis. This diagnosis comes after the Friday night crash. All right, one more time. Star and self-proclaimed king of New York, World of T-shirts, aka Joshua Block, has been diagnosed with pancreatitis. This diagnosis comes after the Friday night crash out at the American Dream Mall, where he was detained by police and taken to a hack and sack. All right, we're close. I'm like right there. I'm like, dude, attack and sack. TikTok star and self-proclaimed king of New York, World of T-shirts, aka Joshua Block, has been diagnosed with pancreatitis. This diagnosis comes after the Friday night crash out at the American Dream Mall where he was detained by police and taken to a Hackensack hospital. At the hospital, Block threatened to sue, and as a result, he was discharged. After returning to the American... I forgot there's the Mr. Beast burger!
I feel like it's important for anybody watching to know that when we're sitting on the couch, there is a glass window right there so we can see everyone in the control room and they can see us through the monitor and the screen and everything. And so when we're saying something and they're laughing,
Hysterically.
it makes it, I'm looking at Joe right now. Hi, Joe. But it makes it astronomically worse. And as someone who is not a on-screen, on-camera veteran like everybody else, I thought I was just gonna like die then and there. It was
not only is everyone laughing, everyone has their phones out too, and they're recording like what's.
I have at
recording
least,
the
I have at
screens in the
least 20
control
saved
room.
videos of you messing that segment up. It's the funniest thing ever.
You do not.
And Mitch
I
is
do.
laughing hysterically.
I'm so
but
mad.
he
I
can't
recorded
even
every
breathe
single
either.
one.
He recorded you and Tommy.
Oh, you'll see.
Every single time.
Every single take I got.
We definitely all have blackmail on each other one way or another.
One of my favorite moments too, I mean, just talking about Live at 7, it was recently this guy talking about 100 men versus one gorilla.
Shout out Joey DeFreda for that
yes,
one, man.
shout
I was
out
there for that. That was when I was the director.
Maybe
Yes.
the best crosstalk of all
Oh
time.
my
Director
goodness.
of Trim.
Director of Trim.
Joey DeFreda has
Yes.
been, he's been a common crosstalk
Yeah.
victim.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not even. I wouldn't even say victim. I'd say he's so
Well,
great at
the
it.
Katy
Perry was
Katy
rough.
Perry one
Yeah.
was bad when they were talking about Katy Perry going to space, and I think
Alright.
the other kicker was like something about a whale.
Yeah.
And then he was one of the anchors said, "Oh, like what do you think about Katy Perry?" And this had to be like 90 seconds of
I was the
crosstalk.
PA for that,
You
and
were,
it
yes.
was brutal. They had to have 90 seconds, and then all of a sudden I have in my earpiece, no, it needs to be longer than that. I'm like, how the hell are they going to talk about Katy Perry in space for almost 2 minutes? And I was making eye contact with them. They were like, what are we supposed to do? I was like, just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. And they did it, and it was great. I just remember so vividly going back in and being like, Mitch, you know you spelled Katy Perry wrong, right?
Oh my
But
god.
they did it. They did
They
it.
did it. My favorite part though was when they were like, they were talking about Katy Perry, and Joey straight up was like, you know, I'm not a big fan of her.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it was just-
that was it.
That was
That was his crosstalk.
We're like, okay,
Yeah.
we have about 85 more seconds to go, but
That and Ashlyn saying that she prefers staying on the ground. She does not want to be in the air. She doesn't want anything to do with space. She's like, I'm happy where I am. And that was great.
But
I appreciated the brutal honesty.
the honesty.
Another
But then we had 60
crosstalk.
more seconds.
Another crosstalk is was our Christmas show after that Tommy face. That one right there. And we had it was Thanksgiving, and we had all of the photos of all of us, and then they called out Chris
Oh my god.
for falling asleep.
Mitch worked with my cousin at 13, so my cousin sniped a video of me like in REM sleep after eating 3 plates at Thanksgiving. And he sent it to Mitch, and then Mitch put it in the newscast. Everybody else knew except me, of course.
You didn't know that?
No.
No idea.
No.
Needed break for Thanksgiving last week, giving everyone a chance to relax and celebrate. We thought we'd take some time at the end of the show to show you all how our SCTV family celebrated our break. It was a great opportunity to spend time with family, have fun, and remember what we're thankful for.
You may even notice SCTV's own Chris Hicks falling victim to the post-Thanksgiving dinner nap right there. We at SCTV are thankful for everyone who plays a part in these newscasts and for all of you who tune in and watch. You know, personally, I feel bad for putting Chris on blast there because I think myself ended up in the same position as he did.
Chris certainly had the sleepies on Thanksgiving. I don't blame him. People can put you to sleep a little bit.
One of my favorite moments. So I was with Chris for this. Chris was my photog for the St. Patrick's Day parade package. So we go down there, we get our footage. It's good. We just need some interviews now. First interview we do. Guy in a kilt. It's great. Awesome one. We find a second guy to interview. All right, can I just get your name and can you spell it out for me? And then he leans into the microphone. And I kid you not, this guy's name Yeah, it's Gary Bob. Gary Bob is this guy's name. I thought I heard him wrong, and I think that's one of the best parts of this career path is you're just gonna meet you're just gonna hi Gary Bob. You're gonna meet just so many. It's just random people, but it's like that was so funny. I was dying at this guy's name being Gary Bob. It sounds.
He was a character.
He was
too.
great. He gave a great soundbite. He was a great guy, but his name is Gary Bob, and that to me was just that was hilarious.
But just while we're like quickly like sharing little stories and stuff, I need to appreciate Amber's grind. Going back to the Thanksgiving, so I had like a Friendsgiving party with like a bunch of friends, and Amber was there, and so was Charlie, and we were doing this, and it was wonderful. But we were trying to get these videos because Mitch was like, you need to have videos, you need to take pictures so we can put it in the episode. And Amber was like, okay, everybody pretend you're doing something. And she's like, we're recording. And it took, no joke, it must have been like, what, 6 takes?
It had to have been.
It must have been at least 6. And then they didn't even use it. No, I swear we didn't use it.
No, we did. We used the clip that everybody was waving.
Yes.
Because the other ones, the other friends were not necessarily.
They were very
in their best
confused.
position
They're
to
all
be on
law
camera.
students too, so they're just like.
Hello.
Yeah, they literally all looked like deer in headlights. So
Yes.
the only viable video was where everybody was like.
Oh my.
But it all looks like we're pretending to do something, and I was dying laughing constantly, and we were just like, okay, one more. But even on Friendsgiving, you gotta appreciate the grind. You have to.
I just have a funny moment too. It's like a big throwback. We did the Albany Cup game for Sports Desk. Oh goodness.
Oh heavens.
And
that was so funny.
We interviewed Siena students, and then Mitch was like, we should go to UAlbany and interview UAlbany students. So we interview all these UAlbany students. Like, nobody wants to talk to us. We finally get this dude, and so we decide to mess with him. So we tell him, your starting point guard, Chunky Ragu, is injured and isn't playing. And he gives this whole, he's like, no, man. I think we can still win without him, though. I'm like, dude, this is unreal. Chunky Ragu. Yeah. I heard your guys' point guard, Chunky Ragu, is going to be injured for this game. Or how do you think that's going to affect the game?
Definitely losing your point guard is going to be, a concern, but still pretty confident in general.
That's the big part of it. I mean, most of us spent this semester reporting on stories out in the field. We all work tirelessly to provide content for the shows, while also trying to hone in on our skills and build a reel that will eventually get us hired at a news station, hopefully. For me, the package I did on St. Rose will always hold a special spot in my heart. So, story is we were short on content. So me and Chris had to speed into Albany to try to throw together a package in 2 hours. And this was the first package I've ever cut with a stand-up in it. So I think that's the one that made me fall in love with this craft the most. For you guys, what are some of the favorite stories you guys have covered?
I did a St. Rose interview.
Yeah.
And I did it with the 2 teachers here, and it was, I think it honestly might have been my first or second interview, so I was still very nervous, but it was such a big story, and it was really incredible getting to see their perspective, and their eyes lit up as soon as they got to really talk about how it felt when St. Rose closed, but then how it felt that Siena was taking this broken part and being able to piece it back together. But also I remember getting a call from Christian about that story. And you guys were like, we're on our way. We're going right now. I was like, where are you going? Who are you with? And it was great. And you guys did it, and it was incredible.
Yeah, we got kicked out too.
Yes.
When we were
campus security. They still have campus security at St. Rose. It's not even a school anymore. Campus security said, you guys can't park here.
Yeah, so Matt had to move my car because I was walking around getting shots. I was like, Matt, I don't want to get a ticket, man. So I had to keep spun around the block, parked, and then we had to meet each other, continue getting shots, and leave before they came back.
Got some sick shots there, by the way. I think, is that what made you really wanted to do photog? Was that the one?
That was one of my best.
Yeah.
That package is in my reel. That was probably my most creative shots, I'd say.
Jake, you did something on the Minecraft story. It would not be missed if we did a Minecraft movie package.
See, I
went viral on Fizz because of that.
Yeah, no, I wasn't gonna bring it up. Katie was telling a nice story about, I did a package on St. Rose. It was really eye-opening. And what am I just gonna say? It's like, yeah, dude, I really messed when I did a package on the Minecraft movie.
It's still meaningful. It still has that warmth to it.
It was fun.
Newsworthy.
It was newsworthy, but it was a lot harder than I expected.
My favorite part of that story is as the interns, Matt and I, part of our responsibility was to make sure that everything was running smoothly when it was being live streamed in Casey's. So part of our job, so for those that are watching, there's an app here called Fizz. And it's basically just a free-for-all. And
it's only open to Siena students.
Only open to Siena.
It's an anonymous Twitter for Siena students.
Anonymous Twitter. And Mitch said that part of our job is to take pictures of important, not important moments, but funny moments that happen.
Creating Fizzception.
Yes.
Or killing it in dance.
That I ruined. But no, our best one was you. Our best one was you in the Nether. My phone
Shocker.
My phone blew up. I took the picture. Yeah, it was like
I made it back though.
I was able to you did make it back though.
That stand-up made it into his reel.
Oh, did it?
No way.
Yeah, I threw it in my reel.
Yeah.
And then I turned in late and had to run a lap to
That was just
get credit.
That was 40 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Tommy has the mic up.
Oh, it's been an hour since that.
It's
Tommy's still feeling it.
We've been going here.
Tommy's still feeling it.
Yeah, no, it was really cool doing the election part. When we had to call certain races in states in the heat of the moment during our short breaks, basically, that was where I was like, okay, this is what it's really like out there. This is the closest we've ever been to turning stuff live, basically, in terms of a live show. And having me on the computer running prompter for it while Katie's putting them into Inception and yelling while we're all just all right, they called this, they called that, put that into Inception for right when we come out of the block. Because it was as soon as we came out, they called it, and then they went back to the panel. So it was all like that, basically.
But I'll just ask you, what's more culturally significant, SCTV or the election? SCTV.
I think SCTV had the best commentary moments in this school's recorded video history, if we're being honest.
I agree.
Yes. Culturally significant?
Culturally,
it would have to go to SCTV.
SCTV was that was
There were talks of doing another tournament, but I don't think Mitch.
But I think it's amazing. Another testament back to an earlier question. Another testament of how much the studio has grown. We got random students to sign up for that, and these random freshmen, sophomore, juniors who've never been part of the TV studio. They stayed till 1, 2 in the morning to play SCTV.
Felt awful.
On a Monday night, by the way. On a Monday night.
On a Monday night too.
On a Monday night.
We had classes the next day.
Yeah. And
well, you guys did.
The kid that won wasn't even in the tournament originally. A kid no-showed.
Yeah, and I called Diego, and he said, "Hold on, I have a friend who can fill in."
Yeah, and he won the whole thing.
And then showed back up here 10 hours later, maybe, to do a post-game interview and basically walk through all of his matchups. And that interview was 10 minutes. Great interview, by the way. A lot of character there.
Fantastic.
Really enjoyed that one.
Sorry to Chris though, because he was
the victim of the shot.
One shot that
of the
through the trees, skipped off the bunker.
And rolled in.
I was another victim too. He hit a driver through the rough and it hit the bunker and went in too. It was the second time. Yeah, he eagled twice that tournament.
Ian Downer will forever be a legend in this TV studio.
Put him in the Hall of
and
Fame,
I don't think he knows it.
Yeah.
But
if he watches this, we'll see.
We'll see.
I'll make sure somebody tells him. I think
Yes.
I'll tell Diego to be like, "Hey, make sure you tell Ian he's memorialized at SCTV."
He's a picture on the wall.
He's going to be on the Hall of Fame right there. That's right behind Amber and Jake. Well, you can't see.
It's not up yet,
Yeah.
so you're not
Yeah.
missing
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Currently, there's just a plaque that says SCTV Hall of Fame.
We will be there,
But there will be photos.
I can imagine that we will
To
be
come, there will be photos.
Me and Mitch attempted to put that up, and we broke a drill bit.
No, I was there.
Straight into brick.
I was there, and they had to call one of the maintenance workers, and then they just sat there on the couch defeated because they were trying for so long to do it. And then this guy just comes. He does it. He has a level and everything. He does it in under 5 minutes.
We had to disassemble the camera one time, me and Mitch. It was that camera right there, because we're like, oh, maybe if we move it up, the weighting, Camera 1 over here, the
Oh,
one
when
that's
that
on
fell?
this side of the room over here, is the camera that fell. Something's wrong with the tripod. So we spent like an hour taking apart this camera and trying to reweigh it. And it works now, but it was literally me and Mitch sitting on this couch. He's like, Matt, hold it. Matt, hold it. Matt, hold it. Matt, hold it. And it's that, oh my gosh.
I did something similar before election night, putting all the chairs and the tables together. And that was like a Sunday, it was like the Sunday the week before election night. And we were just in here just for hours, just building and putting all of the studio together.
It drove like an hour away to get that table.
Yeah, Mitch drove I think longer.
Yeah.
I spent 2 hours
cleaning it.
And the leg always breaks.
Always
still.
breaks. How have we not super glued it yet?
Yeah.
I said to super glue it like when we got the couch.
It still hasn't been done.
If anybody, actually, sorry.
Shows how
If
fast we
anybody
move this
watches our first Morning Brew episode, they'll just see Tommy sitting on a towel.
We were sitting on a towel.
Blanket.
Tommy and I were sitting on that because the couch wasn't clean yet.
Mitch was like, "You just see a weird brown stain," and I was like, "We can't have that."
Yeah.
And so
It's gone.
it's gone.
It's gone. We
Thank you
steam cleaned.
to Dan and Matt for
Yes.
for the cleaning.
Hard at work.
That's most of the internship is just doing the stuff Mitch shouldn't want to do. But
Yes.
if you want a great internship, do it.
Do this.
Do this.
Yes.
It was so amazing. The amount of times I loitered in here, just hanging out, eating a tuninator, eating an onion bomb. It was awesome.
DeBella subs.
DeBella subs. He put me on DeBella subs. I go there once a week now. Yeah.
Well, we lightly touched on it before, but this studio has had such an impact on so many people in the communications program and beyond. Even if you didn't work for SCTV, you likely saw us playing in Casey's while you tried to eat or playing on one of the TVs around campus. I want to hear from every person sitting here, and I'll start with Jake. What has the TV studio meant to you?
To put it shortly, a lot. To put it longer, I came in here not as a communications major. I just came in business, whatever. Then I took an econ class with Matt, and we both dropped it. And then right after
W grades though.
W grades.
Withdrawal grades.
Right, and then right after, we both changed our major. So then I found my way into communications. Obviously, started it just messing around with Christian. Our friend Kayla came up to us and said, "Hey, we want to put together a sports show." And Josh Hidding said, he was looking for 2 people who knew about sports, didn't really care about being on TV, but just wanted something to do. He said, "I have the perfect guys for you." So we started our TV studio journey, and I think since then I've become a different person, grown a lot into myself, and it's just meant a lot for my path forward in the future, and especially meeting everyone here and Joe and Mitch behind the scenes too. So everyone's special place.
Amber, what has the TV studio meant to you? And this question's going to go for everybody, so I'm not just going to repeat it.
The TV studio in essence has changed my life. I've not been to Siena for all 4 years. I've only gone for 2, but the TV studio has essentially become my entire personality. People who I don't know will come up to me on campus and be like, "Oh my God, you're on the Siena College TV show." And I'm like, "Yeah, actually, yeah, I am." But I don't know, it sparked this love for an industry I never knew existed, that I never really looked into, but it also gave me such confidence. It made me feel like I'm capable of doing this job, and it introduced me to people that I love so dearly. And I think just being able to experience this, being able to have the TV studio, like Tommy was saying earlier, we all kind of rely on it. We all came in here whenever we had free time. It was just everybody's safe space. And I'm forever going to be grateful to the TV studio for changing my life.
Chris?
Yeah, similar to what they said, but it's basically my second home, especially this year. I'd leave for class in the morning, stay in the studio all day, even if I'm just hanging out with Matt and Mitch, saying Onionator 30 million times in a day, Italian brain rot,
Staying here till 3 in the morning.
Staying here till 3 in the morning, directing Jill's lab, it's just...
That was a dream team, the 3 of us.
Yeah. It was efficient.
Yeah, it just became a part of my everyday routine. I think whenever I wasn't in the studio, I was kind of just like lost. Like, what do I do today? Like, I have nothing to do. So yeah, it's a huge part of my life. Siena.
I definitely think. Sorry, I'm like floating around. I definitely think that I found something that I'm truly happy at and that I'm also good at. I feel like a lot of times people pick a job that just where the money's at, but 9 times out of 10, you're probably not going to be happy sometimes with those jobs. So finding a job that you are happy with and actually have a passion for, I would definitely say means the world to me. And also, it's also the people, like being in here, like even I know me and Chris applied to 10 together and we were making a joke saying like, if we both get it, I'm going to be like, I'm not doing that story without Chris. Like Chris is coming with me to film. Like, so it's definitely that. It's that community and just, you know, testing your skills and just getting overall better. So I'm really happy and grateful about that.
Katie.
It's going to be a lot of reiteration. It really has been the people. I was never a very outgoing person. I don't have a lot of like close friends that I really like have, but I will like I'm really gonna count you out right now. Amber has become a big rock in my life lately, and it's been a rocky semester. It's been a rocky few months, but I know I can always count on her as she can always count on me, and it's been really amazing. And recently we all went to the Today Show, and like I'm getting goosebumps right now. And this studio has given me things that I never in a million years would have thought would be capable, like waking up at the butt crack of dawn to go and meet Al Roker and Craig Melvin and Savannah Guthrie and like get to take videos and pictures with these people and be like, hi, Kelly Clarkson. I mean, Matt, you got to touch her hand. So like, he hasn't washed that hand since. And honestly, I can't say I would have either. And it's just been like this, we didn't create a show. We created like a family, and being able to say that like with my entire being has honestly given me something that I will take with me for the rest of my life. And I thank Mitch for that every single day.
Ethan, what do you got?
Yeah, it's going to be hard to follow up.
Sorry.
No, you're all good. I will also add, before I get into the depth stuff, a couple of you guys mentioned the loitering part. Yeah, I've fallen asleep in the studio before. Like just, I remember.
I do have a picture of you on the floor.
Yes, you do. Right on that stand over there. We were moving moving a giant table.
It was, I think, around election night.
Yeah, we moved the table down.
Ethan was like already tired, and he did something to his back, and then he just like laid there, and he was just like
dead.
And then I came back with water, and I was like, Ethan, are you alive? Ethan, are you okay?
Even right before this show, we all saw him, and he was like,
oh yeah,
he was like out.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I'll get it checked out. Yeah, so this right here is my point exactly that I was going to make. We all touched on a bit. The thing that's my favorite part about the studio is just the laughter that we all share, right? Mm-hmm. Sounds a bit cliche, but it's true. I don't think there's been a time where I've come in here where I haven't at least I haven't smiled at least once. I haven't talked to someone and learned something new about them. I haven't shared an experience and had a good time. And like, this is just, I'm going to be forever grateful for this experience. This is a pathway to awesome things for all of us in our futures. I know you guys are all going to do great. And I don't know. All I can say is I'm forever grateful for having the most spectacular, outstanding newscast crew and some of the best friends I've ever met in my life. So I'm very thankful to y'all for that.
Ethan, that was so sweet. You can't follow that when you do like a million times better.
Oh my god, wait. Katie's and then yours. Tommy, please make me laugh. I'm gonna cry.
Ready?
I was just gonna
nonchalant warrior.
Okay, fun. It was fun. A lot of fun.
There you go, Amber.
I had a lot of fun. I, did my job, came here, read the prompter like I would read it, basically. And then, guys had some cool things come out of it, too. I got an email one day, and it was like, you want to work on a secret project? I was like, yeah, I'll work on a secret project. Sounds cool. Skipped class, came here, And they're like, okay, so you're going to be recording the commencement address with Al Roker, and he's going to do the weather for Siena Fest, and he's going to be the graduation speaker. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Help me put on this tie. Matt, help me. Matt helped me for 5 minutes try and put this tie on. And then Kelly was also helping me, and I hadn't worn it since till today when I took my graduation pictures. And I called Matt and said, do you still have my tie by any chance? And that's kind of how it's worked. I mean, it's basically a community. It's like I call these people and I'll just be like, yo, I need something. Or they call me, they need something. Everyone's very responsive. That's the thing. Half of you have the group chat on mute because it's just full of nonsense, and they still are able to get back to you if you need something. So I'd say it's a really good community, and it's just been a blast.
Yeah.
So,
Matt, we'll give our answers. So what has the studio?
Just really everything, guys. I'm new to this. Like I kind of said earlier in the show.
You can't tell.
Yeah.
Really?
No, and what you guys have provided me is like a family. Like Ethan said, you guys have truly become some of my best friends, and I look forward to coming here every day. After class, I'm in here. Before class, I'm in here. And this place has become my home on campus. Like, I spend more time in this studio than I do in Cushing 160. And I'm not even, like, exaggerating. I actually do. And it's like, I don't think I would have enjoyed this as much without you guys. This is what has made my senior year great. Like, I hated Siena for 3 years. And I switched my major, and I come into journalism. I'm like, it's whatever. I wasn't gonna walk. I was planning on not walking. I was like, I don't care enough. I'm just gonna get my degree and I'm gone. And you guys have made this experience for me the best year of my life. And I'm not saying that to be corny, as Tommy Kane would like to point out, maybe.
I didn't say
but I'm
anything
so
about
serious.
things being
This has been just the experiences I've had and the person I've become and everything I've gotten the chance to do. You guys have made that possible. And just thank you so much, seriously, to all of you guys for accepting me, because you guys had your you guys had your crew. You guys had the Live at 2:30, and I wasn't part of that. And I came in late, and you guys were always just so open-minded and accepting of me, and I appreciate that. Yeah.
For me,
Dan.
You're literally making me cry.
Oh yeah, Amber's.
I'm literally like tears are rolling down my face.
hey, if it makes you feel any better, we lost some soldiers and we gained 2 more in Matt and Dan. So, like, hey, think about it that way.
That's true. But
Dan's Duke fandom went way too far, way too many times.
Right.
Let's be real.
Okay.
You were literally would always be watching the game while running anything in the control room.
And I got the job done.
You had the job done.
I'm
Being
a
able to dual focus, it's impressive.
I'm a top tier multitasker. I have to say. But yeah, everyone kind of gave their little spiels, but I first started really getting like full-time reps here junior year, and I hated it. And I won't get into the reason why. Mitch knows, but I will not get into the reason why. But the reason why I came back every day was because of Mitch Young right in there. Give a wave, Mitch. There we go. He's got a wave. Just having conversations with him every day and just be like, yeah, like this guy's like a really chill guy. And then he even texted me during the summer when television production workshop was going to happen. He said I should take it for the fall semester, but then I didn't want to deal with the hassle of dropping a class and then adding it again. So then I was like, I'll save it for the winter, and then I'm here I am. And then on top of that, I became an intern with this lovely gentleman right here, and Matt said it before. You guys really accepted me, especially because I know some of you knew Matt really well. I remember in the first meeting for the show pitches, and Tiana and Amber were sitting together, and I just overhear Tiana go, "So is he in the class?"
I didn't know your name for the
No, because
I didn't know.
And then Amber goes, "Oh, he's the intern." And then I just hear Tiana go, "Oh, he's the intern." I was like, "Hey."
I didn't have your number saved for a while because I didn't know who you were. So I'm on the same page as Tiana. That is so
No, because
funny.
I remember that conversation. I was like, yeah, Dan. I remember Mitch saying he hired Dan. Dan's the intern.
I just heard, "Oh, he's the intern." I was like, "Oh, what a start. What a great start." Yeah, but I mean, coming here every day has really been a privilege, and I never really took it for granted until kind of just this moment right now, if I'm being honest. You know, it hasn't really like hit us. Like it didn't really hit me until last week.
It's hitting me now, man.
Yeah, it's hitting you now. I can tell. It didn't really hit me until like last week, and you know, just seeing like our old freshman dorm, sophomore rooms, and like all that, and seeing all these kids, and like really, they're kids. Yeah. Like we were kids like 4 years ago, and now we're going into the real world as adults, which is in about 5 days.
But
we don't have to talk about
We have
that.
senior week still, guys.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes we do. Yes we do. We're gonna enjoy senior week.
Yes, I have a new team assigned to me in Senior Assassin. I need to go get some people out. So.
Okay.
Well, I also want to add that I think that the TV studio, while it brought us all together, I feel like it helped us all discover ourselves.
Yes.
And I think it's amazing that we were able to do what we've done in like 2 years.
Yeah.
Like that's insane. That's actually insane. And the friendships that we've been able to form, the fact that I know I could call anybody sitting here any time of day and I know that you'd be there. That's just like, wow. I never ever expected that.
I mean, I mentioned before why I hated it. If anyone wants to look up who's the smartest saint, I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that.
I know what I'm doing after this.
I think we are.
I'm Dan Layton, a junior here at Siena College, just outside of Albany, New York, and we have reached the finals. 14 Siena athletes started, and now we are down to the final 2. Up first, we have women's lacrosse's Grace Dobrinsky taking on cross country's Colin Clinton. Guys, this is it. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. How are we feeling?
I mean, I'm happy to be here.
Feeling good, There's rumblings around the studio, There's some doubters, but
There's some doubters. Prove them wrong.
My job here today is to prove them wrong. So
prove them wrong.
There you go.
So just a reminder, here's how the rules go. We will go for 4 minutes, stop for halftime, and then go for another 4 minutes. Whoever has the most points after those 8 minutes will be the winner. If we need an overtime, 2 minutes. Whoever has the highest score at the end of those 2 minutes will be the winner. Are we ready?
I'm ready.
First half of the championship starts now.
And the 9 of us sitting here are going to walk the stage this weekend and likely say goodbye to Siena for the final time. For those who want to share what they're doing or where they're going, let's do that now. Let's see where they could find us in our next chapter of our lives. Jake.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll start. Like a couple people here, I'm not going into TV broadcasting.
Amen.
This is real.
Marketing people.
No. I mean, I originally thought I was going to go into TV broadcasting, but, got roped into an interview with another company. So I really liked it. So giving it a shot, I'm going to be a financial advisor. But they told me I didn't have to do a lot of money. So that's mainly why I took it. They just said, you'll just be like, talking to people, getting their information, making relationships. I said, that's exactly what I want to do. I just want to talk to people. That's literally all I studied. And they said, you didn't do finance? I said, nah. They went, we need that. So yeah, I'll be doing that. But, it's fun. I think I'll still always enjoy doing this. I'll still always think back on it. It was a fun time, and I don't regret it. So, yeah.
I'm hoping to stay in the world of TV journalism. I'm about to do my next interview with one of the local NBC stations here next week. So fingers crossed. I hope that a next interview means it's a good sign. But yeah, regardless of if it's that station or if it's somewhere else, this studio has opened my eyes to the world of broadcast journalism. And it actually also allowed me to be able to speak at commencement on broadcast journalism. And we'll introduce Al Roker. I promise I'll give the studio a shout out. It's in my speech. But yeah, it's just been amazing. And I'm really grateful for every road that I've taken that has led me to this moment.
Like Amber, I'm going into the TV production or journalism production world. I just accepted an offer at Channel 10 ABC. Definitely a big shout out to Mitch. I mean, there wasn't a day in the past semester where I wasn't asking him, does this look good on my reel? Am I going to get a job? Am I going to have to travel to Albuquerque, New Mexico to be a photographer? Yeah, the studio really just helped me get my foot in the door, and now hopefully I can just keep climbing the ladder.
Congratulations. I'm so excited for you. Yeah, I've applied to some reporting jobs. I definitely still want to stay in this field. I can't see myself doing anything else. I mean, I can, but I'm more happy here, and I would really like to stay here. I'm going to try out the reporting and the anchoring stuff first, and if that doesn't work out, but I'm not going to speak that into existence, we'll go to marketing, but this is where I truly want to be, so I'm going to keep going with it.
I swear, you guys are gonna make me cry. It's all hitting me all at once, honestly. I mentioned earlier I've been working at North Colony Central School District in their communications office, and I'm gonna be staying there for a little bit longer, hopefully. I had a meeting a while ago that I'm not allowed to talk about. But
as she talks about it.
all good things. And I'm very excited. Although I'm not going into this broadcasting world, it's like Jake said, it's always going to have a place in my heart. And if I ever do want to go into producing, I'll remind myself how stressful that election show was and find something else. In brutal honesty.
Ethan?
All right. Yeah. I'm about to start this track.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. I also, like Tiana, want to be a reporter or a multimedia journalist. I want to set up, write, and do my own stories. I like storytelling. I like telling people stories and telling stories of all different walks of life. So I've applied to a handful of jobs locally and out in the West Mountain area. So I can't see myself doing anything else, and I want to do that, and I want to report.
Tommy?
I'm working sales. I don't know. You probably could tell. So, yeah, this is great, though. Definitely want to move into more like college administration stuff afterwards when I'm done with sales and sort of use like the writing ability that this has definitely done to do more stuff like what people do as like directors of communications and stuff like that. I'm really into like the whole press release aspect of stuff and sort of writing for like colleges and universities. And plus I'd really want to work at a college so I could get another degree as well. So always want to like further, don't just stop, keep going basically.
Matt, what will you be doing?
Well, we'll see where I end up. I'm talking to a few stations right now. Clarksburg, West Virginia, exciting. Evansville, Indiana, and Eugene, Oregon. Augusta, Georgia, and Myrtle Beach, too. So nowhere in New York as of yet. So as of now, I am going to be somewhere entirely new come September, which is exciting, but I'm going into this field, and I could not be more enthused about it. So, what about you, Dan? I hear the New York Edge podcast is our friend Joe Lemery likes to call it. I hear it's taken off.
As he gives us a wave.
Yeah.
It was a wave.
So, what are your plans?
I've been applying to jobs. I've applied to ESPN. There's a bunch. CBS Sports, NBC Sports, a lot of MLB Network, just to name a few. Still working on the podcast. Who knows if that ever grows or if we make it big somehow and could strike a deal. But I know I sound like an unrealistic dreamer. But if it happens, it happens, and we'll see.
Are you 22 yet?
I'm 22.
Be 22, so then you're good.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Chase that dream.
Exactly. Well, any parting words, anyone?
And that'll do it here for us at SCTV. Be sure to like and subscribe at the SCTV
at Siena College
page at
YouTube
SienaCollege.tv on YouTube.
Yes,
The
please.
fact that you have that memorized.
Yeah.
I have the
Well, we've done it quite a few times.
I have that live at 2:30 like timer music. It
Yeah.
got stuck in my head.
It's always honestly.
Thank you, Josh Iddings.
Even all of the theme music, I just hear it. Like I was dreaming the other night, and I swear I heard the Morning Brew theme music in my
If I
dream.
ever need to be woken up immediately, just play it and I'll be like awake.
Yeah. Parting words though. Seriously, I love you guys. I love you guys so much. This made me so sad and so emotional, but also so grateful. I love you all.
One big thank you to Mitch too.
Yeah, thanks, Mitch.
Clap it up for Mitch. Clap it up for Mitch.
Definitely hates us for clapping near the mics.
That's all right.
Oh, I've been clapping the mic the whole time we've done that every time. So, sorry.
Anybody else? Parting words?
Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. We still get to see each other.
Yeah.
This is just the last time that folks at home will be seeing us together.
This is our last time in the studio.
See you guys never.
I pray that the next generation of people here utilize the studio.
And get an experience.
Get the
Say better.
experience. Like Joe Lemry.
Yes,
Yeah.
please, to all future Siena Saints, all current Siena Saints, do not let this studio die. This studio is one of the greatest things that has ever happened to Siena College, and it can only continue to grow if you do your part. So please.
I fully expect us all to come back at our 20-year anniversary and come in this room and just be like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like
We
we
have a new
did
prompter.
something.
Yeah.
Picture's gonna be up there.
We did something. Like you guys have to understand. Like
still
we created something.
Yeah.
Camera 3 still can't white balance.
We started it. It's your turn to finish it. And we
Don't let
can't
there be a
wait.
finish.
Yeah, we can't. No.
Don't let there be an
It's your turn to continue it, I guess. Poor wording. But do not let this studio die. This studio has gave all of us in this room invaluable experience and invaluable friendships, and it is seriously the best thing you could ever be a part of.
Absolutely.
All right, Dan, take us home.
And that'll do it for us here at the Morning Brew. We want to thank you all for watching us all semester long and continue watching us in the future.
And thank you to Jake, Chris, Amber, Tiana, Katie, Ethan, and Tommy for all their hard work this academic year. Oh, God. Signing off for the final time with SCTV, I'm Matt Coloma.
And I'm Dan Layton. Have a great summer, Saints.
Rise when I gave the word. Now in the morning I sleep alone. Sweep the streets I used to own.
Good morning, and thanks for joining. Sorry.
That did 6 seconds.
We were close. Clap it up. Clap it up. Clap it up.
I used to roll the dice, feel the fear in my enemy's eyes. Listen as the crowd would sing. Now the old king is dead, long live the king. 1 minute I held the key. Next the walls were closed on me, and I discovered that my castle stand upon pillars of salt and pillars of sand. I hear Jerusalem bells are ringing, Roman cavalry choirs are singing. Be my mirror, my sword and shield, my missionaries in a foreign field. For some reason I can't explain, once you've gone it was never an honest word. And that was when I ruled the world.
TikTok star and self-proclaimed King of New York, world of t-shirts. Wait, what?
Dude, we might have to cut this. There's no way I can get through it. I know. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. TikTok star and self-proclaimed King of New York, world of t-shirts, aka Joshua Block, has been diagnosed with pancreatitis. Dude, I got through it. This diagnosis comes after the Friday night crash out at...
Revolutionaries wait for my head on a silver blade, just a puppet on a lonely string. Oh, who would ever want to be king? I hear Jerusalem bells are ringing, Roman cavalry choirs are singing. Be my mirror, my sword and shield, my missionaries in a foreign field. For some reason I can't explain, I know St. Peter won't call my name, never an honest word, but that was when I ruled the world.
This, I
I have no idea what's going on. Clearly someone did not have a good phone call with his mama, or someone ate his leftovers. This is ridiculous. I don't know.
Please, 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 to all future Siena Saints, all current Siena Saints, do not let this studio die. This studio is one of the greatest things that has ever happened to Siena College, and it can only continue to grow if you do your part.